I've always been fascinated by old photographs. There's something about the faded colors and worn edges that seems to whisper secrets from the past. I spend most of my free time scouring thrift stores and estate sales for vintage cameras and photography equipment. But it's the photos themselves that really draw me in. I love the way they seem to capture a moment in time, freezing it forever. So, when I stumbled upon an old trunk filled with photographs at a garage sale, I knew I had to have it. The seller, an old woman with a kind face, told me that the trunk had belonged to her grandfather, a photographer who had traveled the world taking pictures. As I dug through the trunk, I found myself lost in the faces and places that stared back at me. But it wasn't until I reached the bottom of the trunk that I found the first photograph that made my blood run cold. It was an old black and white picture of a group of people standing in front of a lake. They were all smiling and laughing. But there was one person who stood out. A man with a tall, gaunt face and sunken eyes. He was standing at the edge of the group, slightly apart from the others, and his eyes seemed to be staring directly into my soul. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I turned the photograph over, searching for any information about the people in it. But there was nothing. No names, no dates, just a small inscription on the back that read, "Summer 1955. I continued to dig through the trunk, finding more photographs of the same group of people. But the gaunt-faced man was in every single one of them. It was as if he was following them, watching them. And I couldn't shake the feeling that he was watching me too. I started to feel a sense of unease, a creeping dread that seemed to seep into my bones. I tried to tell myself it was just my imagination, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. As the days passed, I found myself becoming more and more obsessed with the photographs. I spent hours poring over them, searching for any clue that might reveal the identity of the gaunt-faced man. But the more I looked, the more questions I had. Who was he? Why was he in all of these photographs? And what was his connection to the people in them? It wasn't until I received a package in the mail that I started to get some answers. Inside, I found a single photograph, similar to the ones I had found in the trunk. But this one was different. This one was of me. I was standing in front of a lake, surrounded by the same group of people from the other photographs. And the gaunt-faced man was standing right behind me, his eyes staring into my soul. I felt a scream rising up in my throat as I realized that I had been in these photographs all along. I was the one who had been taking them, and the gaunt-faced man was the one who had been watching me. I stumbled backward, dropping the photograph as I tripped over my own feet. As I fell, I saw the faces of the people in the photograph staring back at me, their eyes black as coal. And then, everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on the floor, the photograph still clutched in my hand. But something was different. The gaunt-faced man was no longer in the background. He was standing right in front of me, his eyes staring into my soul. And then, I heard his voice, whispering in my ear. "You've been taking my picture for a very long time," he said. "It's time for you to be in the picture." As I screamed, the world around me began to fade away, and I was left with only one thought. I am the photograph.